All right, we are live. Thank you so much for joining in. Let me know where you are watching from. Welcome. My name is Alan Namara, and we are streaming from Kampala, Uganda. Let me know where you are watching from. Down in the comments, I'll be happy to see and to reply to you. So today we want to start right away on the topic of the day. So type down in the comments and let me know where you're watching from, and we should get started to it. So this is a project that you should be familiar with. Sometime before, I have shared this walkthrough on the channel, and today we want to look at how to create this kind of entrance. More specifically, we're going to concentrate on these stairs, which are kind of unique, and they soar all the way to the top. Yeah, so that is what we are supposed to do today. I would be happy to know if you're following in the comments, and we should get started. Thank you so much for joining in. I can see we are okay. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to enable a 3D cutaway so we can see what's actually happening here. So in the previous session, we did talk about something to do with this seating kind of arrangement in the auditorium. So if you haven't watched that, I recommend that you do watch that, which is previously on the channel, where we talked about how you can actually design for a staged kind of thing. So today we are going to concentrate on these kind of stairs that are designed to go all the way to the top of this building. So let's get to a blank archicad file such that we get started. Don't hesitate to type down in the comments. I should be able to see and comment accordingly. All right, so let's go to a blank archicad file, and we are going to kind of begin with the very basics of how stairs work. So let's and you know what, we are going to first set off with setting the stories. So if you don't know how to set stories, so under project map we have something here called the stories, we have something here called the elevation. So we want to set the stories by clicking on any one of them, right click and go to the story settings. So here is where you want to set up. If you do remember, if you were here with me, we used 5 meters for the ground floor, from the ground to the first, and then the rest of the stories were 3 meters from each other. So we want to be able to use 5 meters, and we also had a basement. So I'm going to insert below, yeah, and put the basement. I'm going to type in basement, and then this basement is going to be 3 meters as opposed to the one before. And then we have 3 meters, 3 meters, and then also we insert above about like 5 more stories, or even 6, depending on how high your stories are going to be. So we're going to start now by, let me say okay, and we should be here we should start to draw from the ground floor. So for us to do it, we want to create a lift shaft. So if I pull up this before, like we did, I'm going to enable here something like the cutaway, so I show you what we are trying to achieve. So I'm going to come here and If you can see this, that's the lift shaft, which goes all the way to the top, around which the stairs revolve. So we want to be able to create a simple lift shaft. So with the wall tool selected, we want to choose in the kind of method of construction, we're going to choose the box kind of thing, and then we are going to put in let's say 3 by 3, I think 3 meters, or even something smaller. I'm going to make this yes, 3 meters by like 2.5. Yeah, so that's my lift shaft. I don't know what could be appropriate for this kind of situation, but that should be appropriate. And I'm going to make this concrete, so I'm going to make it as simple and make it concrete, because usually those lift shafts are all made of concrete. And I'm going to give it a thickness. It's going to be 200 millimeter thick, and we can either put it on the outside by clicking here on the this thing, because you can see the reference is on this other side, and yet the dimensions which I put should be on the opposite side. So I'm going to flip the reference such that yes, the walls go on the outside. So we have the 2.5 here, hopefully, yes we do, and the 3 meters across. Yeah, and that's pretty good. So we want to now to draw stairs around this thing, and like you saw in the reference, you can put here a door that is going to be accessed when you're entering the lift. So it's pretty easy. You just pick a door. Let's pick a door here, and you put it in there. Let's pick a simple one, an empty door, and I'm going to put it in here. Good, just for reference. Now we're going to have as well a stair, which is the main thing we want to talk about today. So let me use a reference line. I usually like to use the reference or a line, just drawing a line across and using the middle of this line to position that opening. So I'll position it in the middle, and then you can, you know, decide how big that entrance is going to be. Now, for us to create that stair, we have to go to the stair tool. So we are going to pick a stair, and surprisingly, we do have something which is simple to work with here in archicad, because we have a preset which is already inbuilt that has the design that we are looking for. So if you click here on the favorites button, you should be able to see something going on. Once you go up here, we have if you actually, it's the very first option. It's called beam supported stair. Yeah, so it's as easy as that. So let's pick that by double clicking it, and it should be able to show in here. And you can see by default we have this red warning, which is showing us that this stair is not going to touch the top of this story. So we want to add in a 0 mark, or to bring the stair all the way to the top, and then we can also make it start from the ground, which is at the 0 mark at the ground. And then as well, we want to be able to, let's say okay, and begin to place in that stair. So holding down the space bar, which is the easiest way, and I'm going to change the reference line because I want the stair to start from this other side. So once you click here, you can change the reference line to the other side. So now if I space click, let's escape and then space click, we should be able to see it on the other side of this stair. Currently not showing. Let's go back a little. Okay, no problem, we can use this, but we could also flip it. Yeah, we could say that no, mirror it and have it on this other side. If it's not working, the way we wanted it to work. So this is kind of what I envisioned it to be. So let me take this here. We can't move this all the way up, and by now we should be able to have that very stair. So if we go to 3D, we should be able to see what's happening in here. Okay, so let me know down in the comments whether you're following just right, and let me know if you are getting it now. Okay, I'd be happy to answer your questions. Okay, I'm trying to see on this page. Okay, all right, so we are going to continue. We are going to have something here. If you notice the ones that I do have, if I pop this up, you can see that the stairs are much thicker than what we have here, and that's because we have to go in and change the thickness of these treads. Yeah, so with the stair selected, we can always go to the settings and make sure that we put in the dimensions that we want. So I'm going to go ahead and make this, let's go treads and make them a little thicker. I'm going to make it like 75. I'm going to say okay, and yes, it should be updated. As simple as that. So now you can see we have much thicker, you know, staircases that run all the way to the top, which is pretty interesting. And as well, you can always adjust if you do not like the default tread value, because here I can see it's around 250. It should be able to be stretched backward and on either side, of course. In order to have it spread out uniformly, you might need to uncheck something here in the stairs and the rules. You might need to go to the rules standards and uncheck the maximum. The maximum here, in terms of the goings and the treads, yeah. The riser. Let's uncheck all these maximums such that we can be able to achieve something a little bigger, yeah. So such that archicad does not limit us, so you can have a longer tread. So now if I measure this, it should be a little bit bigger. So it's about 350. Well, sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. But if you really wanted to make it a little bigger, you might have to uncheck the limits that archicad gives you, such that you can be able to have flexibility on this drawing. Okay, so now we are going to proceed by having the same thing on the first floor. So with this selected, I'm going to copy this and put it on the first floor for this kind of thing. Paste it in, and also on the second floor and on the rest of the floors. So it's so that we can see the lift shaft or on all floors. As well, the staircase is going to come on these other floors, yeah, to the very top. So let's stop it at something like the 6th story, yeah. We can always come back. I think let's have only those. So in 3D we should have something like so. All right, we should have something going on like so, and we should also start to do things around it, which is the staircase. So there's numerous ways to actually work on a staircase. So if I picked something like a line here in the it's a polyline or a line, we can always go ahead and draw in the shapes. So let me create something like this, something like so. If we pick the staircase here, we should be able to actually space click the stair in there. So you can see how creative this can be. If you had just an idea and you wanted to create a stair around your idea, so you can see that you can easily use lines to place in the stair, and as well you can always change the reference, whether you want this line to be in the middle, so you can see now it's in the middle, or you want it to be on the other side, so now you can see that it should be on the inside of this line configuration. So if you have ideas such as like a rounded kind of thing, let's say you wanted your stair to run from here to here but in a circular motion, let's use like a curve now. Let's say we want to use this like so and move this across here. You can actually pick a staircase and space click, just hold down the space bar, and there you have it. Isn't this pretty cool? So you can have a stair which follows that profile. So once you click, it should be placed in, and if you go there to see what that looks like, let's look at what this looks like. Press F5 to go there. You can see that now we have something interesting, don't you think? Yeah, so let me know down in the comments whether you have tried this before or you haven't yet, because I think this is interesting, and there's a lot of flexibility with the stair tool. So now we want to be able to do what we did on the ground floor, but do it on the rest of the floors. For example, now we're going to start from the first floor, and we can space click the staircase. So make sure that the stair is the one which is selected, then hold down the space bar and it should start to follow. So the other time we used this other axis because it was not recognizing it. So let's do that, and making sure that it starts from 0 to 0 of the story. So let's mirror this, yeah, so, because apparently the wall is not allowing us to use the other way around, but we can always mirror by Ctrl M and put it into place. So now let's go in 3D, but of course we have to have the other one selected, not this one. So with the Marquee tool, I'm going to pick the Marquee tool and draw around this area, F5 to go into 3D, and we should have something interesting going on here. And of course we need these ones as well to be the thick ones in the tread values. So under tread here, we should be able to make these ones a little thicker than they are. So already you can see that we have these awesome stairs going all the way up, and once we add some slabs around them, you can always start or to see what it's going to look like. And let's do that. Let's go down on the ground and put in a slab. So I'm going to pick a common slab, it's simple slab. So if I go here and pick a slab, let's make it a simple slab, and okay, that's great, and we just draw it around just to mimic the area around this place on the ground floor. So we just remove this shape. So by clicking on the side, we can say minus to remove this area of the stair. So we will go ahead and get rid of that section. Of course, we also need to get rid of this section as well, because we want to have access to the lift and access to the stairs. So make sure that it is flashing at the beginning. So you bring this all the way to down here and bring this all the way to down there, and we can of course do the same thing for the rest of the stories. So let's take it also to the first floor, but of course on the first floor we want this thing to appear behind, not in front. So we will just remove it from this other side. So we want it to stop somewhere like there, I guess. So let's see what we have done in 3D. You can already see that we have a platform that someone starts from to climb all the way up, and there's also a space for you to go down in the basement under there, right? Yes, we are okay. You can always type down in the comments to tell me where you're watching from. It will be fun and interesting to know where you are. Now, this time we are going to also take this up, because from this floor, from the first floor, it's the same thing all the way to the top. So you can always, you know, grab this stuff and take all the way up. So Control C, I'll copy this and I'll take it up. Control V to paste it on the first floor. And yes, we should be able to test it on the first floor. Or the other way, which could be faster, we could do it using the 3D. So we can paste in the 4, 5, 6. We can have those 1, 2, 3 more stories from the 3D. So let's try that. Let's go in 3D and just select the topmost, and we duplicate it 3 times up. So the topmost is this slab and this stair. So we can always say Control U to move it up. So Control U to multiply, of course. Now we want to elevate. Choose elevate. So once you choose elevate, you can make sure that you check set home story, because that is what is going to take everything to the next story. You don't want all things to be on the same story. Yeah, so once you have done that, we say okay, and now once you click and go up, it should be able to we add in the 3 meters, let's say 3 meters. So now you can see that it's easy to put things up. So I think I'm going to stop on this story. So now you can see that even when I go to these topmost stories, we should be able to have those things on the respective stories, like from the 5th story and the 4th story. Yeah. So that's some interesting stuff that you can do. Yeah. All right, so that's about this kind of thing. If you do not like colors, multiple colors, like someone commented on a video before, how do they want to remove some colors? It's easy. You need to just add a graphic override. So if you go to document, graphic override, you can say simplified plan. So now you can see that instantly this thing gets rid of all the colors, and it's a better representation in my view. Yeah, it's easy for you to actually read. And the good thing with using graphic overrides, in case you do not actually like it, you can always remove it. If you go back to document, graphic override, and say no override, you go back to the default one. But slap in the override and the representation looks way better because of the simplicity of color. Let's go and say graphic override simplified plan, because this one uses black and white. Okay, thank you so much for joining in from wherever you are joining in. Glad to have you here. Now the next thing, we want to also add something in the basement. So let's grab this stair, the usual one, alt clicking it, because that's for pickup parameters. If you alt click something, you're picking up parameters. Just be sure to have the slab going all the way to this side. Yeah, so if we alt click to pick up parameters, we can always go down here, on the basement and place it in. So with the trace reference enabled, and the best thing of course is for you to also have this thing here. So let's copy and put it at the basement level, and then we can paste it in there and bring the staircase and space click it in here. So let's have the staircase come, and remember this side has failed to work, I don't know, for some reason, so make sure you change the reference to somewhere else. So now it's working, yeah. And as well we can mirror it because of how we intend to have it, so mirror it to have it like that. Pretty cool. And now we also we need a slab in this area. Simple, you just pick this ground slab, copy it and have it on the basement floor, which is down here. All right, so this is interesting. So let's move this to the beginning of this stair, or we can move the stair itself to align with those positions, which is, you know, here and here. Of course this will work once you make sure that you have unchecked in the settings the maximum limits that are there. So you should now have something that obeys the flexibility. Well, of course you need to be aware of how big you're making your stairs, because now it's around 400, which is unrealistically big. So if you do not want that, make sure that you have those maximum dimensions turned on, such that you can be able to do that. So you can already see that we have a basement which you can go through from here, and then you can have that. And to remove this, we cannot select all those openings, which are the empty openings. Let's pick all those. So this is an easy way to do it. You just click on the door icon, then say Ctrl A to have all the doors selected, and then you can say 0, add in 0 in order to have that in there. So now we have something going on, which is very cool. So there we are. We have ourselves a tower of sorts, which is very easy to work with. Now that's the basement, that's the ground floor, and the rest of the stuff are these other floors. So how did I create this kind of effect which you're seeing in this design? If I uncheck this, how was I able to create this stuff, which is this walling and things about it? Well, it's easy with the new tool, which is the openings tool, because it can create such interesting stuff. So let's create something like that. So on the let's begin from the 3rd floor all the way up to like the 7th, yeah. So let's grab a wall tool, make it a little basic, and let's make it made out of maybe brick or whatever you so wish. Let's make it to 100, and let's say okay, and just place that wall somewhere in here. And we will do that with just using this icon, which is this thing here. So let's go ahead and create this stuff. Come in here, and yeah, just for the sake of this demonstration, we're just going to have this, yeah. So this let's make it maybe gray. What color should we make it? The color of Aluko Bond. Maybe let's use pale jade. Why not? Let's just have a color there. So we copy this and have it on all floors, or like we did in 3D, we can do it in 3D, which is by having this weird colored thing and duplicating all the way to the top. So Control U, yeah, to duplicate this. Elevate, of course, make sure you use elevate, and let's duplicate it by 3 meters because that's the story height. And make sure you have checked set to home story such that whatever you duplicate is going to be shown on its respective story. And then we say okay. So now we should be able to duplicate however many times that we so wish. So now when we select each story, maybe like this one, we should have a wall on that story, which is the 6th, which is the final one we did, and then the 5th one, the 4th one. Now we want to be able to create this thing. So how do we do that? We just pick this, which is the openings tool, and just use this polygonal method of construction, and then we can create some interesting stuff. So let's say what you have in mind is something like so, and let's do this, and this can be very interesting. So just draw your own kind of misshaping thing and you should be fine. So I'm going to just close off the shape, and remember you can always adjust what it looks like, and the rest of the things have not been added to it because you need to manually select this to get this, and then click on the plus sign in order to add this, click on the plus sign to add this element as well, and finally these other elements as well, which one is here. So you can see how really it's easy to actually create some of this amazing stuff. So let's have okay, have that, and you know, we move this all the way down. Okay, let's expand this, and it looks pretty amazing, don't you think? Yeah. Okay, so that's a quick way you can actually do this kind of stuff. So the rest of the stuff is you can, you know, do starting from that, but I think that's a quick way to actually do that. And as well to do things around that entrance that you did see in the comments. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next Sunday for another session. Don't make sure that you do not miss. You keep updated because I will post what we shall be doing next, and see you then. So thank you so much.